China promising to buy more American products worth an additional $200 billion over the next 2 years.
In exchange, the U.S. will ease some tariffs while leaving others in place until they sign off on phase 2. So let's go to our headliner this morning, Larry Kudlow, director of the National Economic Council. Larry, good morning, and thank you for being here in America's Newsroom.
Good morning. Thanks to both of you. I'm sorry you're breaking up, but I'm sure you'll still be friends.
Right on. Indeed we shall. Thank you, Larry.
Same team still. Yes. All right, so Larry, how will Americans be better off after this is signed this morning, phase 1 of the China trade deal?
You know, one of the key points here, besides remedying a lot of imbalances and unlawful trading practices, we're going to sell to China a ton of goods and services and manufacturers and energy and farm commodities. The overall ballpark number is $200 billion in each of the next 2 years. We are the most competitive economy in the world. The president has worked hard to defend the American economy and the American worker from injustices. This is this is a historic, never happened before trade deal, and it's going to benefit incomes. It's going to benefit individual areas, ag and manufacturing and financial services and technology, and it's going to help grow our economy faster. We reckon in 2020 and 2021, at least a half a point of additional GDP, which will probably translate into, what, another million jobs?
If you're right, it's big for the economy. Just to let you know, we might get interrupted by Speaker Pelosi, so just please understand that. Well,
I'm promoting trading and growth and prosperity. She's promoting something else, but I understand you have duties.
Entirely. Thank you. Thank you for that. We look forward to seeing what happens next hour. What then, Larry, is left to be done? And how big of a hill is that? Well,
you know, two things real quick. Number one, the biggest hill was getting phase 1, which has never been done before. Now, the president's leadership, including the tariffs, the work of Bob Lighthizer, Steve Mnuchin, our whole trade principles team, you know, never done before. This is historic. Now, specifically to your point, your question, that we will move into phase 2 immediately. The president will be speaking today with the vice president and others to announce that. And I would say to you, probably the toughest nut to crack in phase 2 will be to really level the playing field and take care of unfair practices regarding forced transfers of technology. Now, let me go back. IP theft, intellectual property theft, that's America's creativity. That's our freedom to produce and invest and invent. We're the greatest in the world. IP theft has really strong strictures and changes in phase 1, including changing Chinese criminal penalties, which is a huge thing. Civil and criminal procedures will be changed. That was a big part of their remedy and a big change. That will still leave us, however, with issues on whether the government gives licenses to American companies without trying to steal our technology or forcing technology transfers, and licenses and state subsidies to state-run businesses and so forth, which have been very, very unfair, and other issues around that. So the licensing and the subsidies will come in phase 2, and the unlawful forced transfer of technology, that will be tough. It may be doable. Look, we've come so much. I mean, I think we got almost half of what we asked for originally in phase 1. So I remain optimistic that this deal today, Bill, shows, and this came up, we had a dinner with the two teams last night, a small dinner. U.S.-Sino cooperation is possible. It is possible. Better balance, relationship, and trade in the economy is possible. But, of course, just in case, we have very strong enforcement provisions. And if complaints are not satisfied and remedies not taken, then we will take proportionate actions. We've said that, and they've agreed to that.
There's a debate over what the actual impact of phase 1 will be on the American economy. Democrats, the DNC, put out 1 year later, farmers are still waiting for the Chinese purchases Trump promised. They still have questions over what this means for America's farmers. There's also a debate over what this means for manufacturing in 2020. We know that that was one of the holdouts as far as the improvements in the economy. Manufacturing was not there in 2019. How optimistic are you that manufacturing will return in 2020, and what does this mean for America's farmers?
Well, I'm increasingly optimistic that these purchases and exports will come true. I mean, this was the heart, the heat of the negotiations, you know, along with IP theft. So, gosh, I hate to see partisan ankle biting here, because I know so many Democrat friends of mine, members, economists, have really wanted this deal and have agreed with President Trump, who has changed the narrative on China's unfair trading practices to something much more realistic to defend American interests. So I hate to see this. Look, the deal's being signed. The numbers are clear, Sandra. You've got 40 to 50 billion increase in farming per year. Manufacturing, we haven't given enough credit to that. 75 billion in additional American exports will be imported by China. Services, 40 billion. A lot of that's going to be financial. And energy, I mean, we're the strongest energy power in the world today. As the president said, we don't need Middle East oil. China needs our natural gas. China needs our LNG. China imports our coal.
Big market for that. Larry, you said something.
$50 billion of energy exports.
No small matter. A moment ago, you said you got 50%, or about half of what you're looking for in phase one. Does that mean China got the other half? And was that, to borrow a phrase, the art of this deal for phase one?
Well, I would say no. I wouldn't put it that way. Number one, if you look at the commentary coming out of the Chinese media organs, you know, they're saying, look, they didn't lose the deal. They needed the deal to improve their consumers. Their economy has been very soft. Our tariffs have hurt them enormously, and other factors. They need it. They want the American goods and services to help the Chinese economy and the Chinese consumer. So in that issue of 40 to 50%, no, we didn't lose. We didn't complete. In other words, we got through probably, I'm just going to say in ballpark numbers, Bill, we got through about half of what we wanted, which is half more than anybody thought a year ago, and more, frankly, than anybody thought in phase one. That's a tremendous, again, this has never happened before. No trade agreement like this in history of U.S.-China relations. What's left, let's call it the other half, just for argument's sake, round numbers, that is left to be dealt with in phase two. And we will get right at it. We will go right at it as soon as the agreement is signed today. Phase two begins.
Let's go real big picture now and talk about the U.S. Deficit topping $1 trillion. The headlines this morning in 2019, the first time in 7 years. The president promised to bring that down. Corporate tax cuts, aggressive deregulation. What's going to happen in 2020 with that? What is the president doing to bring that down?
Well, look, revenues are rising. We probably do spend too much. We've made our deals with Congress. Politics is the art of the possible. But you're talking about, I'm going to say, Sandra, 5% of GDP deficits. I think that's very manageable in an economy that is transitioning into faster growth. You know, we've had 3 years of President Trump's policies of lower taxes and regulations and energy opening and trade reform. The economy's growing 2.6% at an annual rate. We didn't quite get to 3. We got hurt by the Boeing shutdown, by the way, probably cost us half a point. So look, I'm just saying, in a growing economy, deficits around 5% of GDP is quite manageable. Spending at 21% of GDP is quite manageable. Importantly, the new economy the president has rebuilt and restructured with lower tax rates and regulatory relief.